What is going on, YouTube? I'm the White Guy, and today we're going to hopefully have the one comprehensive, all everything. Here, I'm moving the microphone a little bit more. What is going on, YouTube? I am the White Guy. Today we're going to have the whole comprehensive, full review, quote-unquote, of the MX vs. ATV Supercross Encore. I guess for PC it's the update, and for everybody else it's the release of the game. And we're going to cover hopefully everything in one video. Might be kind of long, and hopefully we get everything through here, and this will be everything will be the complete guide to the game, hopefully. And I guess to start off, we'll check out the options menu, which is, some people want to see it, some people won't, but you're going to, okay, so it's presets. You can't actually bind your own buttons, from what I can tell. That's kind of disappointing, but in all reality, the first preset's all you're really going to need, unless you want to have your pushing down on the left stick be for gas for whatever reason. Other than that, that's honestly probably fine the way it is. Game settings are just some generic stuff. The graphics settings, hopefully I can overlay an image of that on screen, but there's not too much to change there. Just high, medium, low. Do you want anti-aliasing? Do you want motion blur, which you're probably going to want to turn that all off to try and run the game in its current state, and I'll get to that in a minute. Gameplay HUD, you can show or hide that. Rider names, you can show or hide. I'll turn that to show. You can have Imperial or metric, but we are in America, so we're going to be keeping Imperial. I'm going to keep the music volume off so I don't get copyright strikes. Actually, I don't know if they'll give me copyright strikes or turn that on or not, but either way, I'm keeping it off. Effect volume, and that I just keep at 10%. You can go up increments of 10. I just keep that at 10, because that's where it seems to work well for recording, so you can hear me in the game at a decent level. Stunt list, you can't actually change anything, but if you want to know, just pause the video at any point, and they are all there. So there you go. That's there. I guess that's nice to have. Then they got the credits there, obviously, for the people that made the game, and I'm not going to show that because some people might be upset about the game in its current state, which I'll get to that in a bit. Career mode. Actually, no, where did I started with options, which, again, this is what bugs me if you look down here. Leaderboards. I didn't even try this yet. Okay, that's actually kind of cool. Is that just for friends, or is that just find me, friends only, no records, all? Okay, so that's actually kind of cool. Does this really just show the leaderboards for everybody? I wonder if I'll show up for 650s. No? Okay, so I guess it doesn't show up. I don't know how that works, but there's nobody there when it says all players. I don't know how leaderboards work, but those are a thing, and those will be kind of cool in the future, I guess. Okay, we'll start at the bottom. Customized rider. And obviously there's all, let me just go through these riders really quick. These are the default ones, or the official ones, quote unquote, you can pick from. Just skip through these all really quick. I'm not sure how many people are going to care about this, but some people might, so we're going to go through. It's Brett Q, I recognize that name. Brock Tickle, I recognize that. I don't, Chris Johnson, isn't that a country guy? I thought that was a country singer. Clint Roberts, Cody Gilmore, Cole Seeley, which, yeah, Mercury. Yeah, I like that guy. Cole Thompson, Cole whatever, Colton Eck, Colton Hilderth, Cooper Webb, Daniel Blair, Darius, whatever. I don't know these guys. I don't know any of these guys. I'm gonna flip through these a little bit faster. It seems like they're just putting generic rainbow gear on people that don't have gear. It's actually in the game, so that's cool. I like this one Industries gear. That's kind of cool. I like that. That looks kind of swaggy. Fly racing gear. I'm just gonna start skipping through these a little bit faster. If you see any names you like there, they'll be in the game. Just going to kind of flip through these, 'cause there's a lot of people. There's Malcolm Stewart, there's Sarah Whitmore, so there are female riders in the game. And check out that Fox Glen Helen gear. I'm going to say, I'm pretty sure that gear is actually in, whatchamacallit. That was in Reflex. Somebody made that and it looks just like it did for Reflex, so that's cool. So there's Tara Geiger, I recognize that name. Got the Merca gear going on. Weston Pike, and that's it for that. And then we'll go into gear customization, which obviously you can go anything from something like that to a little bit more serious like that or that. And I guess we'll mess around with this first gear set here just to see what we have to choose from. I'm going to go up to the top. There's Alpine Stars, and I'm going to scroll through all of the different color combinations for everybody that cares. You can probably just skip ahead a few minutes if you don't care about gear. You can just skip the video a few minutes. We're going to go through everything in one video just to be a nice comprehensive guide to the game. Probably not going to do all the tracks, but we'll just get one track from each category, I guess. But there's the fly racing gear, which there was not that red thing I saw in the Pro Riders, which is honestly disappointing me right now. Unless there's, yeah, there we go. This is where that thing was. There's a, can't change that color. Yeah, there we go. This is where all the other stuff is. I like this fly glitch gear. I'm going to equip that, because I actually do rather like that glitch. Kind of looks cool in my opinion. But there's a pretty good amount of gear customization, colors to choose. Oh, no, I didn't want that one equipped. I want to equip the other one. Look at this one and that one. Let's see if I remember to leave that one on. There's that. There's Fly Racing Light. There's Fox Gear. There's MSR. There's more MSR. Is that a Yamaha logo? No, I guess not. Some more MSR. Some Nordic Games gear, which you can change the color of because it's a default gear, so you can be whatever color you want to be. And there is O'Neill. You got O'Neill Hardware, O'Neill Mayhem. There's some One Industries, which I believe you can change the color. Yep, there you go. All those different colors of that. There's 2 different colors there, or 2 different colors there, and there's some more colors in here. There's a lot of colors. You can pick between these, I think, and then you can't change that color, but if you go to here, you can change the color of this if you go, like, inverted. Like, if you, for example, want to be blue, you can do that, or you can go with that. There's 2 options there you can choose from between how you want those colors to show up. There's the 7 gear. Oh, I like that camo. And to cause it, turn the mic off. I actually like that 7 camo gear. It looks pretty dope. We're going to equip that. I like that. And yeah, there's all this other stuff. There's lots of 7 gear in here. 7 seems to be a pretty big part of this game. There's 7 rainbow stripe. There's some shift, more camo gear, which I thought there. I wish there was like that neon yellow, whatever camo stuff they had in Reflex. That's kind of cool. There's the more shift. There's some Thor gear, Thor core. Some more Thor gear, which that kind of looks like zebra stuff almost. Some more Thor gear. Hey, look at this. There's some Troy designs. Got like some skulls and crossbones going on. You can go pirate some stuff. You got camo gear from Troy Designs. There seems to be a lot of camo gear in this game. I should go through the Fox gear too, because I think there's a lot of subsets there I did not go over. Some more TLD. More TLD. There's always a lot of TLD. And that's locked, but that's female. I don't know why they locked the female gear is locked. I don't know why, but it is at the moment. Some more TLD. And there we're back at the top with Alpine Stars, and I think somewhere around here I stopped going through gear, so let's flip through these all really quick. Fox Glen Helen, more Flox, Flox, that's what it is. There's some more. Man, I like that. That actually looks really... People are saying these textures don't look HD, but compared to what these look like in Reflex, this actually does look like it's a pretty clean texture on everything, so I'll give them props for that. People say they're not HD, but in this screen at least they look HD when everything's running at the correct frame rate, which I'll get to a little bit later, but I believe we already went through all of those, and now we will go through the next subset of gear instead of backing out, which is going to be helmets, because people seem to care a lot about these helmets. We'll scroll up to the top and then we'll make your way back down. Okay, so we got the Answer Evolve 2, which actually that fits pretty well with this gear, not gonna lie. Bell Moto 9, there's that. We got the Chicken Helmet, of course. That helmet's freaking amazing. EVS helmets, there we go. Podiums, that's all there. Fly Racing F2, Fly Racing Kinetic, it's all, there's a lot of helmets. There's a lot of gear and customization in this game in case you didn't figure that out yet. Fox V3, just pause the video if you want a better look at one of these things. You can go through and pause it. I believe you're fully capable of doing that. I don't know what the difference between these 2 helmet brands is, but that one's Savant, whatever the hell that means. There's some MSR gear, and there's some Mohawk helmet, which of course you can change the color of to be whatever you want. It'd be cool if you could like have it flashing colors as you're riding around. It'd be great. You can change the color of these Nordic helmets, of course. This one is just, oh my god, Stars and Stripes. Thank you, Nordic. Fuck, we're going with that. We are going with that. Thanks, Nordic, for putting that in there. I appreciate that. We got some One Industries helmets, I believe. There you go. More One Industries helmets. You can't change the color. That's O'Neill. That's a pumpkin helmet. If you want to be if it's going to be Halloween, you got to be spooky. You can change the color of the rainbow helmet, of course. Rainbow R2. You can't change the color of, but there's some just stuff like there that they put in. Again, you can change the color of this one, and you can go with custom color, or if you invert it, it goes the other way. 7 helmets, those are always looking pretty cool. Showies, is there a matte black? That's the Dio helmet. Yep, Return of Dio trademark helmet. Got the Spaceman helmet, go NASA. The Thor Verge, there's some more helmet colors in there. There's a lot of helmets to pick from in this game. There's a lot. If you say there's not enough stuff to pick from in this game, you've got something else. The customization is actually pretty good. There's the Viking, and then we're going to go back to, where was that America helmet? It was a Nordic N2, right? Yeah. We're going to go with the Stars and Stripes helmet. We're going to try and actually make an America gear set here and see how well that works out for us. What was the other one? It was like an Alpine Stars. There's a TLD one that worked pretty well, I thought. There we go. We'll go with that. And boots, there's a pretty good amount of boots to pick from. We'll just go to the top. There's Alpine Stars. There's all these sub-colors of Alpine Stars. Yeah, there's a lot to pick from here. There's a lot to pick from. There's my boots. I have those things behind me. I don't know which. I think I've got these. There's a lot of these boots. These actually, again, these textures are pretty freaking good compared to, if you like look at this and then go look at Reflex, these textures actually are pretty HD, so I don't know why people are complaining about them. It's probably because when you get, again, I'll get to this in a minute when I start playing the game, but the frame rates are not the best at the moment, so that's why everything looks kind of wonky, because you're looking at it at 30 frames a second, and it just seems like there's rendering issues with that. But when the game runs at the correct frame rate, if you get those occasional moments when you get up to 40, 50 frames a second, the game actually does look pretty good, and everything looks like it's pretty normal. But until that happens, there are issues. What gear am I wearing? Trailing designs. I'm trying to find a boot that would go with this gear so it makes sense. So I'm not just picking stuff for no reason. Aren't there Nordic boots, I thought? No, I guess not. We'll just go with the Fly Mavericks, because these look kind of nice. We'll go with those. Googles, of course. These are important. You gotta have good Googles. 100% goggles. These are, of course, nice to see, because people seem to like 100%. So those are there if you want them. Answer goggles. You got the Novas. That's there. Dragon MDX goggles. That's there. Can you actually... I didn't see any tinted goggles in here yet, though. I wish there's a... I wish they just had, like, a subset, like, right in this menu. You could just hit the triangle or Y button or whatever it is, or whatever, you just click it, because down there, those, I wish those were like keyboard buttons instead of controller buttons, because assuming you're on an Xbox 360 controller. But, yeah, it'd be nice if there was, like, how you could change the color of helmets and gear and bike skins and whatnot. If you could change the color of the goggle tint in this window, that'd be kind of freaking awesome. If you could just tint that little color wheel in the bottom right, you have to change other stuff, but you could have that to change goggle tint. I personally think that'd be a nice featured add-on, because, like, right here, kind of like have that wheel, but for goggle tint, not just the color of the brand, because I think that'd be pretty cool. You could have whatever lens you want in there. I think that'd make a lot of people happy. But yeah, there's a lot of goggles to pick from here, obviously. I think we're going to roll some 100% ones. No, there's a lot of camo stuff in this game. There really is. Alright, so we're going to scroll down through there. Spy Omens. There we go. Let's flip through those right quick. Store Allies. Alley, whatever. Got them. And back to 100%, which we're going to run the Fire Red, of course. Fire Engine Red. And there's just, obviously, there's the neck brace, and then there is the Alpine Stars, which you can get in red or black. We're going to go with red on that to match the red, white, and blue theme here. Ass patches. This is where it gets fun. Alright, so we're going to go up to the top. There's Awesome, Bam Bam, Bandit Believer, Burnbuster, Big Bore, Big Dog, Big Time, Blingin', Brap, Bubba, Bill Dog, Bully, Buster, Butt Whip, Champ, Checkers, Clocked In, Cobra, Contender, Couch Rider, Crash, Couch Rider for me, Crashaholic, also for me, Crash That Crazy, Cross Up Crunch, and that's it for those. D to I, we have got, dang it, perfect, Doughboy, Dude Bro, Egghead, Infant Terrible, okay, Fighter, Flashback Flash, Flat Biller, Flawless Floater, Follow Me, Goat, Gladiator, Go Big, Goon, for me, Hammer Time, Hang Time, Hardcore, Hazard, Hero, High Octane, High Roller, Hillbilly, Whole Shot, yeah, that's a good one for Alessi, he should have that one, Iron Horse, Iron Man, and that's it for that set. And then J to R we have, let's go all the way up to J, Jammer, Jumper, Kamikaze, King, Lapper, Lazy Boy, Long Shot, Loop Out, perfect, Loopy, Slowball, Master, Maverick, Mastery Man, Nice Guy, Ouch, Overtime, Owned, Panic Rev, also me, Peeled Out, Perfection, Pinned, that's awesome, Pit Boss, Pit Racer, Power Band, Rabbit, Raynack, I'm gonna go with that actually, I changed my mind, Renegade, Rever, Rollerball, and Rookie, and then you got the option of none. We're gonna keep Redneck down there though. Skin tone, there's obviously some that almost looks Asian, but it feels racist for pointing it out because if you knock the race, you're racist. You got White Guy, we got a slightly darker skinned White Guy, and we've got James Stewart. Alright, jokes aside, that's your skin tones. It's nice to see them incorporating more races other than just Caucasians, I guess. It's nice to see that. That shouldn't be a thing people have to point out in games anymore, but it's there, is the point. Okay, so that's it for gear customization. Obviously, you can change the name and the number. Now we'll check out some vehicle customization, and we're going to go through all the vehicles really quick in case you don't know. There's the MX-50, which is just, that's the only graphic that you can change colors on, and I went with pink because it's just, if you want to stand out in a race, go with the pink bike. Nobody else will have it. You'll just be like, yes, that's me, I'm on pink bike. Got the MX-125. We got the another MX-125. I'm going to try and find one that actually have all the graphics kits for to show you what there is to choose from. But as far as graphics kits go, you have actually a pretty good amount of choices. You can change, see right there where the fender's kind of gray in the front. Everything that's gray, you can change the color of, like I'll show you in a minute. There's that Motorsport kit. There's a decal works. There is the factory effects. There's Moto option. There's this one. There's Nordic Games' kit. There's the One Industries camo, which actually does look pretty cool. Then there's the Metal Militia one. And see what I mean? Like where it's gray, you can change the color of what's not the actual graphics. The color can be changed to whatever you want. And I'm just gonna leave that as black because I'm a bro. And then there's stealth, and that's pretty much the case for all of these. There's these fast flex, the pro taper bars, obviously. We got the Renathal flat bars, the Renathal twins, the stock bars, and the tag metals, obviously. And then for exhausts, we've got the Dubach Racing, never heard of them. FMF, because everybody's gotta have FMF. Leo Vince X3, never heard of that either. Pro Circuit, heard of them. Stock exhausts, and the Yoshimura RS4, which kind of looks funky to me because it's so fat. But other than that, we got Maxxis tires, which you get to pick from your little selection here. So we got Sedona tires, and we've got the stock tires, which I don't understand why it's any different, because I'm pretty sure bikes just ship with like Dunlops or Maxxis tires on them already anyway. I don't know, there's no brand that makes their own tires. Wheels you can change the color of to be whatever you please. I think we're going to leave them black so it doesn't pop out too much. Hubs you can change the color again to be whatever you want it to be. Suspension, Pro Action, or Pro Circuit, RG3, there's all that. Chassis, you got the factory, which is, again, this is where you're going to have to put time into the game, because when you start, you're going to have the stock chassis, or you might actually have to upgrade one unlocked. But once you get to the factory chassis, you'll be able to throw better whips and scrubs, and you'll have a lot more fun. Brakes, you can oversize those. You can change the color of your number plates to be any of these fine colors. Yeah, there you go. And that's pretty much it for bike customization. There's obviously the Nordic 250. Again, these textures, I don't know why people said they aren't HD. They look pretty clean to me. I kind of like these. This one I went for more of a plain look, sort of, as compared to this. But yeah, these textures actually do look pretty good. The bike models are pretty good. The one thing that does bug me is like it seems like there's a little gap where that number plate doesn't actually connect to the fender there, and it looks like it's supposed to, and I don't know, it just kind of bothers me about the model. But I guess that's just kind of me being me. Oh, there's little holes in the side of the thing to let air through. That's kind of cool. All right, anyway, the bike models, ace job on them. They're pretty good. I got the Nordic 450. Obviously, I went the Moto option kit there to try and make all these bikes look unique. I actually do really like the bike customization in this game. You can get some pretty unique looks on your bikes like this. Yeah, you can make bikes look really cool in this game, in my opinion. They nailed the bike customization at this point. And then there's obviously the EDX 650, which again with pink so you stand out. But you can make these things look like whatever you want for the most part. You can get a lot of different customizations in there, and it's just nice to see. They did a good job with that. And then obviously there's the ATVs, which there's a 250 quad, there's a 250 quad, there's a 450 quad, and I don't really like this one as much because it's got headlights on it, and it kind of turns me off. These those look like they're headlights, but there's nothing bolted onto them. But yeah, these models are pretty good. And I'll show you some ATV customization here. You can change the ATVs up a lot more than you can. Obviously you can change the graphics kit. You can change the swing arm color to be whatever you please, whatever you want. You can change it to. And you can change the handlebars. It's obviously the same thing we had before, it's just the front balls and all that. Bumpers, there's these to pick from. Yep, pause the video if you see one you like. There you go. And I believe this is the Nerf bars on the bottom. You can change these to also be whatever. I kind of like those IMS ones. I'm going to go with those. Change my mind. But you can change those. There's obviously the factory 4 exhaust from FMF, because you got to have an FMF on these things. I like that Dr. Dewey pipe. It's nice. There's these pipes to choose from. Pick one you like. A-arms, you can again change the color. Most of these to be whatever you... Actually, all of them, I think. Yeah, you can change these colors to be whatever you wanted. All of those, I obviously went for a black and green theme. Suspension can be whatever you please, I believe. Yeah, so everything's there. And tires, there's these to pick from. These fine selections. I think I'm going to throw some Maxxis tires on there to try and be different. I like these Razor tires. Let's go with these. These look fun. Wheels, there's a pretty good selection of wheels in each of these rims. You can't change the color on the wheel. It'd be nice if you could, there's rims you could change the color on with the wheel, but for the most part, you've got any color you probably want to make the rims there are available to you. And yeah, that's nice. You can change the colors of that. Chassis, obviously there's a stock and there's the upgraded one. You can change the chassis color on the quad, which I wish you could change the chassis or frame color on the bike. I think that'd be pretty cool. But you can't at the moment, so yeah, the only on quads can you have green frames and stuff. And I really hope in the future they add the updates so you can have like green frames and purple frames on bikes, because I think that'd make the game that much cooler. And obviously you can change the number plates to be whatever you want. And that's going to pretty much do it for the vehicle customization. And we'll just have one more vehicle, I believe, which is going to be the 650 quad. And people seem to keep asking, where did they put the secret vehicles? They're in the menu here. You just pick them and drive them wherever you want to. I'm actually going to change these tires, because I don't know if these tires actually make a difference, but this thing feels like it's riding on ice on those. I don't know why. I like ATV hole shots. Those seem to work pretty well. So that's it for vehicle customization portion of the video thing. So now we will look at the career mode. I'm not actually going to play through it because we don't have that much time, but we're going to look through it. This Jamie T's position. Wait, what? Oh, anyway, let me get into that later. But there's championship for the West. There's 450 championship. There's ATV West, ATV championship, MX versus ATV West, MX versus ATV championship, 250 nationals, ATV nationals, MX versus ATV nationals, MX rhythm racing, ATV rhythm racing, MX versus ATV rhythm racing, 250 East, ATV. ATV East, MX vs. ATV East, 125 Championship, 50cc Championship. I might have to check that one out. 450 Nationals, and yeah, that'll do it for the career mode, which is nice to see a progressive career mode put in there, but obviously, yeah, I was not about to play through the career to unlock everything to make a review, so, yeah. Single race, that's the other thing. I wish with these games they'd have an option, so if you want to, you can just straight up unlock everything in the game and not have to play through the career mode and have that set you back, because I've already had this update, or I've been in early access for a while, and I did not want to play through the career mode on those same tracks again to have to unlock the stuff again, so I'd rather, it'd be nice if they had an option to cheat the game to unlock everything, but there are ways around that, believe me. Okay, national tracks, we're going to go through these to see what we got. These are all the live tracks. There's 45 Palms, Owensiki, Sanko Speedway, Grandview, Ocean View, Yakahoy, I don't know how to pronounce that, Les Champs MX Park, Piston Valley, Sully Point, Bamboo Hills, Catapult Canyon, Mansion de Moto X, and yeah. People are going to say, oh, they're just putting live tracks in, they're so late. Well, it's like, if you, people are saying this game is just alive, and it's really, I can just go through all the tracks in free right now, but that's not, they have alive tracks, but I'm actually happy they have the alive tracks, because that game was never on PC. I am on PC, so now I have those tracks. I never would have had those otherwise, and I'm actually happy they put those in. So anyway, for these tracks, the 2 free rides you get that are like made for free ride is the Devil's Playground, obviously, and Brian Carey Quarry, which I've already put up videos on those two. If you're not familiar, they're in a playlist of this somewhere. Then you got the Devil's Claw Straight Rhythm, Oso Grande Straight Rhythm, Snakebite Straight Rhythm, which these all have like little freestyle track. There's like, it's like on a drag strip, and on the other side there's a freestyle track, which I'll show you that when I get around to doing some track gameplay. But there's the tracks, there's Anaheim, Phoenix. These are not actual Supercross tracks from any season. They're just made up completely. They're just set in whatever city. Because there's, I know for a fact that the Detroit one, there's no stadium in Detroit that looks anything like what that's in. These are just fantasy tracks purely, but they're just set in the city, so it makes sense for a championship purposes. There's Indianapolis, Detroit, Minneapolis, Toronto, New Orleans. There's definitely a pretty good selection of tracks to pick from in this game at the moment, and hopefully there will be updates in the future adding stuff, but hopefully the biggest update that they said will come soon, and hopefully does come soon, is optimization, because I can't even run these waypoint races right now. The frame rate's way too low to even try that. And then there's rhythm racing, obviously, which we already saw. So now we're going to get into some actual gameplay, finally. If you skipped to about 20 minutes in the video, we're finally getting around to gameplay. So we're going to start off here with something simple. We'll just go to, like, I guess the most interesting thing people are going to want to see is rhythm racing, so we'll go to Widowmaker. Actually, what bike am I on right now? I don't like how, I wish it would let you choose the vehicle while you're at the race menu. It would ask you what vehicle you want and then start the race instead of having to come back to the main menu every time to start a race. That's a small gripe with the game, that not a huge deal, but it's just something to keep in mind, that make sure you have your vehicle set at the menu before you start a race here. So now we're just going to do a free ride on them to save some frame rates, and we'll go to White Knuckles, I believe. No, it was Wheelmaker is what I was going to do. And these, again, these little controller menu tips, it's just assuming you're on an Xbox controller already, but actually trying that kind of funny. They have the default setup for an Xbox 360 controller when this game is not out on Xbox 360, and probably, I don't think it's ever coming out there. It's not on Xbox One, don't ask me when it's coming out, I don't know. It's on PlayStation 4 and PC, neither of which use an Xbox controller. I don't know why that's like that. I wish they would change that to be over to PC stuff, but anyways, yeah, this is what the rhythm racing is. At the moment, you can probably see the frame rate, not so good, not so good. I'm getting about 28-ish frames a second playing by myself on a straight rhythm track. Yeah, oh god, I am sucking right now. This is just awful. But, believe me, this gameplay is not representative of what you can do in the game. I'm just not very good at the game yet, because I haven't had a ton of, I've put enough time into this game, so I feel like I'm able to actually give a somewhat fair review, and keep in mind, this review is being made on October 29th of 2015, so since then there may have been some, if you're watching this video way in the future, months ahead, whatever, there have probably been some serious updates to the game that fixed the optimization, hopefully, and probably added some new content, so you might want to check out my channel and look for an updated review of the game in case I forgot to link it here, but there's a decent shot if you're watching this in the future that a lot of stuff has changed. But the main thing people are worried about is like whips and scrubs in this game aren't a thing, but from what this game was in the beta, it's a world different. It's so much better. And if you played the beta or whatever, that probably put a bad taste in your mouth for the game. But since then, it's gotten a lot better. We're just going to jump into the crowd there. But, yeah, the beta for PC, or at least the early access thing, probably put a bad taste in a lot of people's mouths because it was just so undeniably awful. I feel bad for saying that, but sort of, but it was pretty freaking bad. compared to where it is now. It's like, it's not going to be something that's like, die hard replica, must be, everything gotta be replica. Kind of like how everybody is on Reflex, where they start whining if something's not completely dead on replica. This is not like a hardcore replica game. It's not intended to be. It's intended to be just a motocross game that's fun to play. It's not supposed to be your die-hard MX Simulator 6.0. That's not what it is, and I'm pretty sure it's not what they intended it to be. It's a game that it's there for everybody. It's not just there to focus on the die-hard crowd. It's there to appeal to a broader audience so they can sell more copies of the game and hopefully keep the franchise alive, which is why I actually think they get this optimization in check. I think they've done a very, very good job with this game. It's just that the optimization is the only thing that is keeping this from being, or keeping my, if you check the reviews on Steam, like, the only reason I am telling you not to buy this game right now is the frame rate. The optimization is just awful, and unless you have some, like, really beastly computer, like an i7 Extreme Edition and, like, a 980, not even a 980. People on GTX 980s were saying that issues running the game. You need, like, Titan X's running an SLI or something to be able to run this game, but unless you have that, I can't recommend buying the game right now in its current state, because the optimization is just not there at all. But hopefully I'm getting some better rhythming through here. As I think you can see, I'm starting to get better about hitting rhythm lines, and this game actually does. This rhythm racing actually is a lot of fun, especially if you're gonna think this game's bad because you only did 250s. Just put some time in, get a 450. You'll enjoy this game a lot more, believe me. It's just fun. Alright, we're gonna check out another track right now to hopefully get ourselves back in check here. But yeah, we're gonna try a Supercross track now, and hopefully I'll show you guys what the difference is, what's changed since the update, because you'll see it's can't really put it into words, but it's very, very, very different from when it was in early access. Like, they're not sliding on ice anymore. There's actually traction on the ground. It's just so good. And the other thing to note, it actually is, from what I can tell, it's really hard to actually loop out in this game. Like, if you just dump the clutch leading back, you can't really do a wheelie, let alone loop out. So here, look at this. See, like, the front wheel doesn't even get up enough to do a wheelie in this game. That is, I don't know, make it out of what you will, but I have not been able to actually just loop out on flat ground yet. It's not something to worry about. If you're worried about, oh, I'm going to hit the clutch and lean back and flip over and die, that's not something that's going to really happen in this game in any meaningful way. Other thing to note, that clutch boost that people are freaking out about, like, it's, yeah, I think Dio already made it. I'm going to give Dio credit for this, because I'm quoting him on this, and he was the one that pointed this out. But the clutch it's not there for just, like, boosting the crap to the moon, or whatever. It's there for, like, if you screw up a section, like, oh, here, let me find a section I can screw up really easy, that'll make sense. But, like, if you screw up a section like this, and you end up having to double that, in Reflex, you just have to just single through the section like this the entire time. In Reflex, you would just be doing this. Whereas in Supercross, if you screw up a section, you can just hit the clutch and get back into the section, and you're not just penalized the entire time. Because, as Dio said, in reality, if you're on a 450 and you single a jump, 450s have more than enough power to be able to get you back in the rhythm section and going along instead of just singling everything. And I personally like the clutch how it is now. They toned it down so it's not so outrageous that you just keep spamming the clutch and take off at a million miles an hour. But it's there, so if you do screw up a rhythm section, you can get back in the race instead of just being lost behind and stuck. You'll have a fighting chance of coming back. Other thing that I wanted to note in this, though, is crashing. I wish they'd turned up, or whatever, made crashing more possible. Phrase it that way. Because it's very hard to actually, like, you can land stupid amounts of jumps to flat and just case everything and never, look, right here. You can just case everything and just never crash in this game. It's kind of ridiculous, the stuff you can do without crashing, which I guess is there to keep people in the racing so people don't just get frustrated and quit the game. But I guess if there's like a, kind of like how MX versus ATV Unleashed did it, because I think they said, like, they brought the preloading back from the popular games of the past. If kind of like how they did that, sort of, if they brought back, like, the MX vs. ATV Unleashed way back in, like, 2005, whatever that game came out, it had the different physics settings. You could set the physics to pro, or people, I know Dio's gonna hate saying this if he watches this. Hey Dio, physics, if you're watching, haha, I'm talking about that now. But in Unleashed, there were physics in the game you could choose from. You could choose between pro physics or race physics. I think it would be nice in future updates, if possible, to have a selector so you can go between having, like, the physics like they are now, where it's just to have fun and race and appeal to everybody, or have, like, a pro button that makes it so if you do stuff like that. So wait, hold on, let me get a good example here. It's just hit a jump, I need to find a big jump. Yeah, here we go. So if you do stuff like this, launching that to flat will make you crash. Like, stuff like that, or not being able to just land stuff backwards. Like, you know, I'm trying to make a good example of it right here. Like, so you can't just land this. I think I'll land that anyway. For the most, I would have landed that. So you can't just land stupid stuff like, having a hard time making an example of it, but, like, if you see me play this game before, you can just land ridiculous things completely sideways and be fine. It's, like, if you turned down, so you can't just land that to flat. Stuff like that, I think people would stop whining so much if that was a possibility. But for now, the game is actually pretty fine the way it is. First-person camera is actually pretty good. I would like to see an FOV slider in the settings somewhere for PC, so you could have the field of view be 90 degrees, 70 degrees, 110 degrees, 120 degrees, whatever you want it to be. I think that would make the first person a lot better if people could choose what field of view they wanted. Because I think most PC games have first person have an FOV slider. Even Rocket League, it's all third person that has an FOV slider in it. That would be a very nice thing to have. The second camera here, you can just kind of adjust the camera to be around wherever you want. And, yeah, that's... The gameplay is pretty good, I'm not gonna lie, and we're gonna hop over to a different vehicle now, and we're gonna see what the quads feel like in this game now. I was getting to that part of the video, and we're just gonna hop on over to the ATV, and we are going to see what is going on with that. Let's hop on the 650 quad, because there's no real reason to ride the 450s when you have a 650 quad, especially, because all of them don't really turn that well, and 650s just got more power to get you going. And we're going to go on to the Supercross track, of course. Oh, no, we're doing free rides. We don't get the AI in the way and drop the frame rate too low. I'll do that in a minute. We'll go to Indianapolis, I guess. Why not? Let's get this game going. And as a note, all those like freestyle ramps you see, they're not there. At least I'm pretty sure they're not there when you're actually doing the race. But again, you can't really loop out or wheelie quads too much, but hopefully you'll get the point here of these things don't really turn all that well. There's no traction on them, at least from what I can tell. There's not very much traction to be had, especially on the 650. You just slide absolutely everywhere. Like, if the game was riding on ice before the update, the 650 is like riding on, at least I think it's just the 650 actually. This is like riding on ice that's been coated with some sort of lubricant, like hydraulic oil or something, because you just slide everywhere. Like, if you hit a slight little bump, you get taken off sideways. It's kind of ridiculous. But again, I guess that's there to, like, that. You just have no control over the quad most of the time, and it's, I guess that's there to tone down the 650 so you're not just stomping all over people in this because you got so much more power. But that's the other thing. I don't understand how this game works off the gate, because I would be on a 650 bike and people would just launch way ahead of me on a 250 when we're on flat ground. I don't understand that. But yeah, you just kind of slide like everywhere on this on quads, or these disc quad. It's very, very difficult to keep control of, and I guess that's a good thing. So it keeps only skilled people riding the 650s and being fast. If you're really good at 650, you should be a lot faster. But they are a lot harder to use, believe me. And we're probably gonna, like, launching that to flat, like in reflex, that would just buck you off, but you can actually like land stuff on a quad now, which is nice. And I always blow out these berms because it's just so hard to turn this thing. And it's just, apparently if you don't, Moto a Go-Go, we're gonna quote him here, he said if you don't preload stuff in the game, you tend to rhythm a lot better, and preloading should only be saved if you're coming up to something too slow, or if you need to hit, you're going to some really massive line, because he said if you just lean back most of the time, you'll be, sort of like in reflex, just lean back, you'll get clean rhythms most of the time, and preloading is just if you need that extra little kick there because you're running low on speed or something. Like that, for instance, you run a preload right there, and that's what I mean by the quad. If you get one off angle, you'll just be screwed the rest of the rhythm line. And I guess now we'll check out the 50cc to get to the other end of the spectrum of things. Which last time I tried this, I did not have actually any sound on here. So, yeah, let's see here. Nope, let's go back. Let's grab the 650, and I'll show you guys what that's like. Hopefully, like the video. If you like something, it's going to be a pretty long video. And hopefully it'll be a very comprehensive review of the game to show you absolutely everything about it, so you make an educated decision when you go to decide if you want to buy it or not. But we're going to check out the 50cc physics. There's that word again. We're going to just go to a Supercross track. Let's try Minneapolis, and these things do not ride like 50cc's at all. Not saying if that's a good or bad thing. I think personally it's a good thing, because if this actually did ride like a 50, I think it would be pretty boring. But it's just there to be fun, or have fun with at this point, and I appreciate it. It's something there for fun, and it's just like, if you want to huck out triples, and maybe even Ooh, can I quad that? Maybe even quads on a 50. You can. Again, there's no bike sound. Listen. There's like sound of it hitting the ground, but there's no sound of the actual engine on the bike, and I don't know why that is. Maybe my game's glitched. Maybe something with Supercross itself is glitched, and it's not just on my end. But at the moment, at least for me, there are no sounds for the 50cc's. But honestly, this bike's just about having fun. It's not, you can't be too serious here, but you can almost, like, you can rhythm these things actually kind of pretty well, not gonna lie. I'm gonna overjump that R9 and everything. Hopefully, that was a smooth line right there. Come around that berm, blow it out even on a 50, but again, notice how I actually can turn on flat ground now, and I'm not just absolutely sliding everywhere. It's just, if you played the update and you're saying this is bad, if you played the early access / beta of this and you're saying it's bad because of that, you're saying that's bad, play it again and put some time in, because oh boy is it's so much better. I can't even describe to you how much better it is, but there's an example of hitting a rhythm line on a 50cc, and maybe we can clear the finish line jump here if we like clutch boost at the right time. There we go. Nail that finish line jump, and it's hang around right there, and we didn't quite blow that berm out, so I'm going to give myself a trophy for that. And you do have to preload like everything on a 50 if you're going to try and be a die-hard, serious 50cc racer, which, apparently some people are taking this game very seriously. They're setting up these die-hard championship things. It's like, the game's got 50cc bikes and chicken helmets. I don't know how they're taking it so seriously. But yeah, that's the deal with the 50cc, and I'm going to try and wrap this video up pretty shortly here. And now we're going to move on to the AI / the optimization issues. I saved the best, juiciest part for last. We'll hopefully get to show how that works pretty shortly. Let's grab 4 fatty, and let's go to Nationals tracks. I think this is probably the best example of this game's optimization, this game not really being runnable in any meaningful way. Let's just go to, I don't know, we haven't not done something yet. Let's go here. This track I think is kind of fun. Alright, we'll set them to pro, I guess. We'll just do 3 laps, and we'll do 4 fatties. And loading. These tips are kind of there, I guess, because again, you gotta remember, they're marketing this game to everybody, not just the die-hard motocross fans. Everybody. So you think, oh no shit, you aim for a downward slope? And no, you don't. You gotta think they're marketing to everybody. It's not just you, die-hard fan that knows everything. It's for everybody out there that owns any sort of gaming device is what this is being sold for. So keep that in mind. That's why some of these tips seem rudimentary. It's there for people that don't know what this is. So they're trying to appeal to everybody, which good on them for trying to get this game more popular. Good job on that, Nordic. Or I don't know, who should I be addressing? Should I be saying good job, Nordic or Rainbow? Because I think Rainbow Studios made it, but Nordic's just the publisher. I don't know who to be addressing with this. It's a two-way thing. But as you can hopefully see here, if it seems like I'm running in the game in slow motion, because I don't know why, but when I watch this back on a video, it seems a lot smoother. It seems like I'm just running smoothly in slow motion compared to how bad it feels in person. I get about 26, 25, 19, 22, 18, 17, 19, 20. And these chain of numbers I'm listing off, by the way, for now, I'm just going to rattle off the frame rate I'm getting, which is how many frames per second, if you don't know what that means. Typically, to give you an example, if you know what Crysis 3 is, it's a very demanding PC game that needs some pretty high-end hardware to actually be able to run that game well, and this machine I am playing on can max Crysis, it'll max Crysis at 1080p, whereas I can barely run this game at 720p. On this machine, so that'll give you an idea. This is low settings, 720p, and I'm getting 19 frames a second. And to be more specific, my hardware, if you want to know, is an FX 8320 from AMD and a GTX 780 from NVIDIA with 16 gigs of RAM, even though RAM doesn't really matter too much if you have more than 4 or 8 gigs. But yeah, I saw somebody was talking about, it seems like there's an issue with this game using too much VRAM because they said their GPU was staying like under 50% utilization, and the game was still running like crap. So I think he said that he thinks that means that there's some sort of issue with it using too much VRAM, which if you don't know what VRAM is, video cards have memory on them, and he said the game might be using more of that, or might be using way too much of that and slowing itself down because of that. But look at that scrub. These scrubs are they just work so well sometimes. When it works, and you just feel good, and they look really good. They did a good job with that. But this frame rate's just, it's something else, and this is why I wouldn't recommend buying the game yet, because it's just not. You can sort of play it, but I would not call anything below 30 frames a second playable. 30 frames a second is like barely playable in my opinion. and 60 frames a second is ideal smooth. Anything above 60 is just icing on the cake, as now, as of this point in time, because there would be a point in time when 60 frames a second is considered unplayable. But anything below 30, I can't play. 30 is barely acceptable in my opinion. Personally, I'd say 30 is not really acceptable, especially in a game like this with a 780. 30 is not acceptable. 60 frames a second, it would be nice if this game ran smoothly on more hardware. That'd be nice, especially on the I'd call my machine pretty high-end-ish when I've got about, if I wanted to buy all the parts now, it'd be about $1,500. If you bought all the parts new, back in the day when all the parts were new, it'd be a little bit over $2,000. So, yeah. Be nice if this game ran on that. Just saying, it should. They said they were working on optimization, so I'm gonna wait a couple weeks and maybe put a little updated video out if they fix this. But as of October 29, 2015, this game runs like crap on just about any system you can imagine, and I can't suggest you buy it because of that. But I might put up a little. I will put up a little update video if they put out an update that fixes optimization and makes the game more playable. Because at this frame rate, yeah, you can sort of play it, if you want to call what I'm doing right now playing it, but if I wasn't doing this to make a review of the game, I would not be playing it right now, because you're not going to have any fun, you're not going to have any enjoyment, you'll get no enjoyment out of the game running at below 30 frames a second like this. You will get very minimal enjoyment at 30 frames a second, and you'll, above 60 or above, you'll be able to enjoy the game and have it be nice and silky smooth. Like, reflex runs decently well. I can max that game out, and it's sometimes it dips down, but because that game reflex itself is still pretty poorly optimized, but at least that game runs, and it runs smoothly. For if you have decent hardware, the reflex, you can run it pretty smoothly, and that's nice. Whereas this game doesn't really have that so much, if at all. And sometimes the whips just land sideways like that, and sometimes actually like work out really well, like that. Maybe you can like, people say Dragon Bars is pro. Friggin' Dragon Radiator Shrouds over here, that's the level of professional I'm at right now. It's just so much farther. Oh, I always hit that tree on that truck. I always nearly hit that tree. Try and scrub that. Yeah, you gotta remember what you can scrub and what you can't in this game, but if you get like whips like that, sometimes they come back, sometimes they don't. It's kind of janky, but it's better than where it was by sure. That scrub was pretty dope. Like, they just, some work, some don't. It's hard to explain. I don't know how it works, but it's just, in my opinion, they're fine the way they are, and I like them that way. I like it the way it is, and I wouldn't change too much of that at the moment, because, like, right there, that worked. It's like, ooh, watch that corner. Like, the ground, the stuff on the ground, it feels nice. It's so much better than it was, and there's a pretty good amount of content out right now. It'd be a lot more enjoyable if you could actually run it smoothly, and kind of, like, quadruple. Throw a super gun out there, and like if stuff like that would make you crash, that would be nice. Because if you could have that little physics toggle, just like I talked about earlier, where big change between pro and race, that little thing could make you crash. That would be nice. And that little flag waving over the front of the screen every time you finish a race is kind of annoying, because you can't see your rider if you try and like backflip or taunt the finish line or something. But I think that's about going to do it for this video. Wow, 44 minutes about. That's a longer video. Hopefully I covered absolutely everything about this game and y'all are informed to make a decision now. Thank you for watching. If you want to see more coverage like this of future games, let me know, and I'll see you guys later.